Good morning. Good morning. So here's the tutorial on how to create a landing page inside Gohighlevel to promote an ebook. Pretty much to promote anything you want as long as it is a lead magnet. Can be an ebook, can be a mini course, whatsoever you have. You can also use this for generating leads. So go to your Gohighlevel account, open a sub account you wanted to use. If you don't have an agency account, then it will just take you directly to the sub account. So in this instance, I'm using the demo account that we have. And step one is go to sites. Here, we're going to start by going to the forms section and click on builder, since we're going to create a form for us to generate leads. So click add form, and you're going to be presented with two options. Option one is to start from scratch, meaning you're going to have to design your form the way you like it. Or two, you can choose from templates. If you go with the templates option, it will show you all the form templates currently available. You can also search for different tags or industry or niche you wanted to select. Um, you can update a text or copy for those, but pretty much the whole reason for templates is it just cuts off the time of you doing something. So let's say, for example, I'm gonna use this one as a template. Click the design you want, and then just click on continue. That will automatically create a form for you. Second option is start from scratch, create, and then that's gonna open up the editing feature for the form. So step one of creating a form is to always rename it. For example, demo form, rename is the name. You can name it anything you wanted to. These are the preset questions in the form. Now, the asterisk here means it's a required field, or it's a required question. So names currently are not required. So we're gonna mark it as required. You can also update the copy for the consent form under the company here. Change it to your company name, and you can leave the rest as is, or you can shorten it or update the text the whole thing. It's up to you. I don't like including the privacy and terms because normally that's going to be on the landing page I have. You can change the name of the button, submit, change the color of the button as well in here. You can pretty much adjust any other details for the button here, from border to spacing or margins. If you wanted to add a custom question, you can select from the preset created questions in here. Or if you would like to have a unique one that's only for this form, you can click on custom fields, click add, select the question format if it's a free text, if it has drop down of pre-selected values, if you want to have a custom drop down or custom values. For example, drop down single, that means they can only pick one answer. Drop down multiple, they can pick multiple answers. Let's say, for example, if you have 10 choices, they can pick all 10. Checkbox, date picker, you can have those information. If you're asking for a file to be uploaded, you can use the file upload. So let's say, for example, I just wanted to have the standard form questions. So first name, last name, and email. I'll go ahead and do that. Now, let's make sure to have this open on a different tab, the same form, because we're going to go back to that afterwards. So as of right now, we just created the form, but we're going to add a couple more steps to it later on. However, we could not add those steps yet because we have to finish the website. So once you go back to the site section, go to the funnels, click on new funnel. Fastest option is that's gonna go ahead and use templates. Now, depending on the niche you're currently in, for example, the most common one is gonna be the health and wellness. Let's use any of these templates. Now, again, our goal is to generate leads. So we're gonna pick one that's slightly or is already on that layout instead of picking one that's actually can also filter it here, lead capture. So again, health and wellness. category. Type is going to be lead capture. All of these assets is now going to be for capturing leads. You can just pick one that you like that you can just easily edit. So let's see here. Let's say I wanted to do an ebook for nutrition. So I'm gonna select the template. Currently, the template is being added into Gohighlevel. Takes a while for it to populate. Awesome. So we now have what we call the opt-in page of the landing page. Now, in some cases, you can actually have the menu option here, but on this instant example, I don't like using it. So I'm just going to remove that field. And we're going to start with a hero image, how it works, and further information. We can add or delete sections as we go through it. Now, first step is you update the copy for your offer. So, for example, welcome to, this is going to be your call to action, short description, and then the button that says get to appointment. Instead of that, we're just going to rename it, for example, download free guide as your call to action. You can also change the text color by clicking on the text, and then you're going to see here color options. You can change it for different colors depending on who or what your brand details are. You can also update the background image here, but the sole purpose of utilizing a template is to make it easier for you. So you can just leave the images in here, just update the text here as well for how it works. Make sure that you update the copy or the text for the buttons. Now, if you notice, first button that we have says go to next step. We're just gonna change that to open pop-up. Same with all the buttons that we have here is we're gonna change it to open pop-up. Same here, as soon as you change the text, also set it to open pop-up. Same here as well. Change text, open pop-up. And let's see if there are any other sections. That's it. Now, when you're going to publish, it's gonna ask you for domain. If you don't have a domain yet, you can click this section that says add or edit a domain. It will open up a new tab. That's gonna invite you or give you directions on how to add a domain. Now, all you have to do is follow the steps. For example, connect a domain, add your domain here. For example, I'll do journal at AGM agency, actually journal.agmagency.com. Once you click continue, it's going to allow you to either add records manually. If you do that, it's going to give you the records that you wanted to add or that you need to add, and you can click here, watch the help video. Once you have completed the steps, just follow the tutorial on how to add a domain and click verify records. Once you've completed that, you can then select that domain in here. Now for this training, I don't have a domain selected, so I'm just going to proceed without one for now. Just make sure that you save and publish every time you edit. Now on some designs, it's not optimized for mobile yet. So on this section here at the top, it says mobile and desktop. Go to the mobile option and you can resize the font size in here on all of the steps that currently have on the website. You can keep resizing them in here to make it more optimized for mobile. Now, let's say, for example, you're good with the registration page. We're now going to go through let's remove the appointment page. Depending on what template you use, some of them will have 2 steps, some of them 3, some of them 4. So on this instance, it's going to be a lead magnet funnel. I'll just go ahead and remove the second step because I don't need that. And one extra thing on the registration page, so let's go ahead and edit it back again, is remember the form that we created and the buttons that we updated earlier, it all says open pop-up. So once a user clicks that button, a pop-up on the screen is going to show. and we're gonna have to update it pop-up. So in order to update that, if you go here on the top menu options, open up the fourth or actually fifth to the last icon that says pop-up settings, and we can start editing it. So we're gonna start by adding a row, a full row. You can add a headline. For example, fill out form to download guide. You can click, so you have a couple options on how to add sections. So the orange section automatically adds an element. The blue section adds a what we call a row or an area that you can add elements to. So for example, in this, we're just going to add an element and we're going to search for form. And that form is going to be the one we created earlier, the demo training, this one, and it will automatically show here. So whatever information you're trying to click on the form will automatically going to be added here on this page. So let's say once, for example, we're good with the registration page. That's step one of the funnel, is to create the registration page and add the form. Now that it's done saving, we're now going to grab the thank you page. Now, let's say, for example, once you have a link available, you can see the link here. Let's see if I can grab here. If not, I'll just do this to grab the page URL. Before we proceed on editing the thank you page, let's go back on the form. And on the top right section that says styles and options, go ahead and click that. Click on options and on submit, click a drop down, and instead of message, click on open URL and attach the thank you page URL that you have. And don't forget to save. Now, reason why we're adding that is every time someone submits this form, we want it to go to the thank you page instead of just a general message. Now, the next step is go back to the funnel. Let's go ahead and edit the thank you page. Now in here, since it's a preset template, you can just one, select or update the copy itself. You don't have to do anything else. Two is if you, let's say, for example, wanted to change the branding colors, you can easily do this in here. If you have used ClickFunnels before, then it's pretty much the same thing. Now, under the logo section, I normally just remove it. You can update the text. You can update the testimonial here as well, and the footer. Now, if you don't like specific sections, just hover over it, and you can delete. If you wanted to change the text, you can just go directly on it and then update it. Same here. If you wanted to change the font color, you can click on the text. This section will open. And if you scroll down, you can update the colors here, paddings and margins, those information. Once you're good, just go ahead and click save. Now, at this point, you have created your first landing page that collects contact information. Our next step then is to deliver the lead magnets. Let's, for example, if you're offering up a PDF guide, you wanted to deliver that automatically via email. So in order to do that, go to marketing on the sidebar menu, hover your mouse on the emails, and then there's going to be a drop down, which is campaigns and templates. Let's go with templates. Here, you can create a new email. Again, you have the same option from design editor, drag and drop option, code editor if you're really well versed in coding, plain text editor if you just wanted to have a text. Most common feature that all other CRMs use is the design editor. So we're going to use that for this training. Same scenario still. Let's first start by naming this template. So this is going to be a demo email training. That way you can easily use this in the future. Now, currently, it has one section, which is going to have the view this email browser. That's going to be your email headline. Cases is you can add elements by clicking the plus action, and you can add an image. That's going to be your header image. So this image is currently blank. If you click on that image, you're going to have this edit image options and click the pencil icon. You can upload image from library. If you have uploaded images before, you can use those. If not, you can click the blue upload icon, and that's gonna invite you or require you to select an image from your computer. Now, for example, if you have a whole lot of them, you can just pick any. Let's say, for example, I'll use that one for this training. Select that image. I want to add more elements, so I want to add more text. You can add more text here. So, for example, headline for the email. I don't want to have a bigger text here, so I'll just do remove that and then hi. If you wanted to add personalizations, you can click this icon and contact first name. That's going to be your personalization. You can add a whole lot of text in here as well. Now, let's say, for example, you wanted to add a button. Again, click the elements, add a button, click the button. You can update the button text here. You can add a button URL here for your PDF guide page. You can save the PDF guide into other platforms such as Google Drive. If you're using something else, then you can use that as long as you have the share link available in here. You can add another text for your footer or for your thank you message. And that's pretty much your email template. Now let's go back again to your funnel. This time you have created your landing page, you have created your email, you have created your form. So you now have the necessary assets um, to proceed with the last step. Last step is to create that automation. So as of right now, once a user fills out the landing page in the form, nothing happens. Nothing is being sent to them. So all you have to do is create a backend automation that automatically sends communication. So with that, go to automations on the left sidebar menu, create a workflow, and select a recipe. Selecting a recipe means you're gonna um, select a template, a pre-built template that Gohighlevel already has. For example, for lead magnets, you can use this recipe. They do have other or a lot more options for you depending on the use case that you have. Now, on this instance, I will actually create a or start from scratch. That way, you would have the two options of using a template or starting from scratch. So from starting from scratch, again, we're gonna name the automation accordingly. For example, this is a demo automation with guide. That's going to be our automation name. And first step for all automations is to have your trigger. So click on a trigger, and these are all the trigger options that you have. There's quite a few of them. So what we're going to do is search. So search for form, and you're going to have actually five results. The last one is for payment. So we're not going to use that. For lead magnets, lead generation, we're going to use form submitted as a trigger and always add a filter. First filter we're going to use is form is. That means we can identify what form the lead filled out. You wanted to have this filter to make sure that you don't send, if you're currently running multiple funnels, that way you don't send communication to people that opted in for something else. For example, if you are promoting a quiz and a lead magnet, you want to have an email being sent out to people that opted in for the quiz that's related to the quiz. For people that opted in for the lead magnet, you only want to send out communications for the lead magnet. So select the form and save. You now have your trigger. Next step is to track the users. So search for tag. Again, let's go back. So your trigger, click the plus action for your action. It now says here, please select action and search for tag to add a user tag. For example, test tag is going to be the name. If it's not yet available, if you haven't used it before, you can click on add new tag, and that's going to automatically create a tag and click save. Next step is to, again, click the plus icon, search for email. We're now going to send email as the first option here for actions. And you can manually create the email here, but since we created an